Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. My name is Chris Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield, and I am demanding public information from you using the instrument called the Freedom of Information Law. And what you're going to do is refuse to comply with every single document. As I make this YouTube on December 6th, 2020 at 8:27 p.m. These are two of your pathetic concoctions, Todd Baxter, by Shannon Meyer and Andrew Alley. Harassment second. What's the name of the human being I'm guilty of harassing? Sheriff Todd Baxter, bald-headed, party-switching fraud. I go to the now-defunct PW Fitness at the back of the gym. Up walks to me Jim's psychopath, Jermaine Bettman. He goes like this. I don't acknowledge that guy. I lean back on the machine. Bettman stands over me, punches down. My head snaps back violently. He begins to walk away. I had to make a decision right away not to respond with violence of my own, which I didn't. Andrew Alley arrives. We go out to his vehicle. Your employee, Andrew Alley, tells me to wait in the back seat of his vehicle while he talks and coaches Jermaine Bettman in front of me. He walks Jermaine Bettman around to the side of the vehicle, and your $79,000 employee, Andrew Alley, tells Jermaine Bettman exactly what to say to me. Jermaine Bettman says to me, I want to press charges against you with those 7 words. I'm charged with harassment second. Who am I harassing, Todd Baxter? What is the name of the human being I'm harassing? This is the handwriting of Andrew Alley. Christopher Chichester. Right there. Harassment second. Who am I harassing, Todd Baxter? Tell me. I'll wait. I'll wait forever. Criminal contempt second. It's a parking lot next to my residence. That's 17.9 million New Yorkers can walk through without being arrested except for me because these parasites, Nairaj and Layla Kumar shot. You could conquer the crime for me. Here comes the guy in his tractor. They haven't been here for 7 years. And how does anybody own this land? How does anybody own that land? That's the land next to my residence. That's the reverse angle. How does anybody own that land? And the answer is no one owns that land. Not a single human being on planet Earth owns that land. Here he comes one day on his tractor. I walk outside. I stand right here. I tell the guy in his tractor, he's got a long gray beard. And he knows to come by my residence because your employees told him to. Your employees told this guy from Broccola Tree Lawn to get on his tractor and come by my residence. You want me to come outside. I come outside, I stand right here, say nobody owns that land, walk back in my house. How is that a crime? I'm going to say that again just for you, you bald-headed, party-switching, fanatic, degenerate, and sociopath, Todd Baxter. I come out here one day, I stand right here, I tell the guy in his tractor, nobody owns this land next to my residence. I walk back inside my residence. How is that a crime? How is that a crime, Todd Baxter, that gets 6 of your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths to my residence? 6 of you are here. I'm sitting right here. Shannon Meyer runs into my backyard, crash lands on her face. There's a pounding on my door. I walk to the front. You say, we just want to talk to you outside. Your employees are lying to me, which is not a surprise. You're a liar, Todd Baxter. I walk outside. Show us the spot you were standing. I'm looking around at these guys that surround me on my front lawn, and the handcuffs go on. You concoct crimes for innocent citizens. And since I'm not allowing you to do this to me without my ferocious objection, you're concocting other crimes, such as attempted assault, petty larceny, and trespassing. Attempted assault. I come outside my residence past midnight. Your employees have been walking around outside for at least an hour waiting for me. 2 vehicles are parked on Penfield Road. My neighbor called me. My neighbor and I are talking on the phone, looking at your employees. You're outside waiting for me in the concoction of a crime. And what's their names? I have to go to the grand jury with these 2 fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths that you employ, and they're going to lie in the grand jury. They'll lie because you're a liar. I walk alongside my residence. They come running from the front lawn of my neighbor. They hid in the bushes. Hid in the bushes. And if you came here to 26 Sanders Farm Drive and stood on my front lawn, you will see these tall bushes. and they come running at me. I don't know who this is. I turn around and run away because 2 people are running at me. And then you can see the body camera footage go on. And that's not a crime where I'm standing. That's not a crime. Do you understand me? When the body camera footage first goes on and I'm wearing camouflage pants, that's not a crime. Then I run back to my back porch and I'm about to run into my house. If I run back in my house, that's the end of it. Your employee grabs my arm. The hammer I just grabbed goes up. I pull away, I run back in my house. How's that a felony? How's that felony assault? Who am I trying to assault when I'm running away and your employee grabs me by the arm? Tell me. What were they doing here? What are their names? How's that felony assault? It was such an abomination. Every single inch of you, every pore of you from your bald head to your big toe is corrupt. And the same thing is for your employees. Attempted assault, petty larceny. Somebody you think is me takes a sign. Somebody you think is me, there's a no trespassing sign here. Somebody you think is me comes outside, takes a sign, and walks away. That's petty larceny? Really? How do you know it's me? How do you know that's me for petty larceny? Trespassing? Am I trespassing this parking lot? Am I trespassing on my front lawn? You do not know what constitutes a crime, and neither do your employees. Fanatic, degenerate, sociopath. I do not use language without thinking about the language I'm going to use. Fanatic, degenerate, and sociopath, and that's exactly what you are, because in 2012, I went to Lollipop Farm Humane Society with my ex-girlfriend, Laura, and we decided to adopt a dog, and we were interviewed. It's extensive. Because to adopt a dog, you have to establish character. And Laura and I were approved and went to the cages at Lollipop, and they do such perfect, beautiful work with trying to place dogs in the homes of people that want to adopt dogs. It gives the dog a home that nobody wanted. And we walked to the cage, and there's a Shih Tzu. And he's staring up at Laura and I. And Laura said, he's looking right at you. And we adopted him. There's my little guy, and his name was Alex. And when they told us his name, Laura laughed, because when I worked on Capitol Hill's United States Senate staff, where I worked with an individual named Alex, and no dog of ours is going to be named Alex. So I named him after the champion WBA lightweight champion, Ray Mancini, otherwise known as Boom Boom. This my little guy's a champion. So all I'm doing, Layla Kumar and Nayraj Shah, is walking my dog the same way for 7 years, 4,000 times. 4,000 times, Todd Baxter. And the way I would walk him is I would take him on this land that has no ownership to get to the land behind my residence that has no ownership. Because these parasites, Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah, don't have documentation. And Timothy Murphy at the Monroe County Office of Real Property can't confirm that these parasites, Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah, have the documentation. Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah, you miraculously now have the documentation. Click reply, put it in PDF, and send it to me. Because you got nothing. Parasites, Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah. The back window from this repulsive Shah law firm flies open. I'd like to know who their clients are, who the hell would ever hire these two. 50-year-old man living with his mommy. The back window flies open. A woman is screaming at me. I believe it's her employee or somebody in that building. I bring my little guy in. I go over there to talk to him. She refuses to talk to me, this woman. And Nayraj and Layla Kumar are there, and they refuse too, because they already called the sheriff's office. They don't come over here and talk to me. 7 years, 4,000 times. So Nayraj and Layla Kumar, when I'm calling you and labeling you parasites, there are 100 reasons why, and this is one of them. All I'm doing is walking my dog the same way for 7 years. Then I hear this pounding on my door, and I know that pounding now because your employees, since they are bereft of civility, they pound on my door. I open the door, 2 employees, and there's a man from animal control next to them. He's got a pole in his hand with a noose on it. I'm looking at these 3 stooges there at my door. I'm thinking, how do you possibly show up at my residence and demand my dog and expect to receive my dog? How do you think you're going to confiscate my little guy? There is not a dog owner on planet Earth, party-switching, bald-headed fraud Todd Baxter, that delivers a dog to the police because the police demand it. I'm going to tell you a fact of life, Todd, because you don't know this fact of life, and neither do your 2 fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths standing at my front door. People love their dogs. Are you not aware of that? When they're driving over here to demand my dog, did it occur to your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths that people love their dogs? So when I'm using that language, fanatic, degenerate, and sociopath, Sheriff Todd Baxter, who can't figure out what party he's supposed to be in, this is one of the many reasons why, the multitude of reasons why, the 100 plus reasons why I use that language, fanatic, degenerate, and sociopath. This is vicious confrontation. I'll say you have to kill me to take my little guy from me. And they left. How do you come to my house and demand my little guy? How's that happen? How do you do that? Tell me, Todd. No, I really want to know. How do your stooges come to my residence and demand my little guy? So, I'm demanding again a list of salaries on this December 6th at 8:38 p.m. of every single employee at the district attorney's office and sheriff's office. And what you're going to do, Sandra, Doorley, and Todd Baxter, is refuse. And I'm demanding other information that you were legally obligated to provide to me. You're going to refuse to comply with all 14 of these Freedom of Information Law documents. Every single one, you refuse to comply. But when you want information at the district attorney's office and the sheriff's office, you better acquire that information. Am I right about that, Sandra, Doorley, and Todd Baxter? I'm going to say that again. When you demand information at the district attorney's office and sheriff's office, you better acquire that information. But when citizens are demanding information from you, you just arrogantly dismiss such a citizen, which is me. So, now, Todd, as I read these Freedom of Information Law documents, do not allow another inmate to escape from Monroe County Jail, especially any pregnant inmates like Aaliyah Burden. Do not allow any inmates to escape from Monroe County Jail. You're such an incompetent, such a buffoon. You can't even prevent your inmates from escaping. My name is Christopher Chichester. I have never committed a crime. Freedom of Information Law. The internal disciplinary records or documentation for employees at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd K. Baxter that Sheriff Todd K. Baxter is disciplined or reprimanded or terminated from employment at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Does that need further explanation from you? Does every single employee of your 170 employees behave with the highest standards for character? You have no disciplinary process. What is the disciplinary process? If you have a disciplinary process, have you terminated employees? When was the last time someone was fired from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? When is that, and what were the reasons? That's what this document demands. A disciplinary process and the termination of employment at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. These are public employees paid by taxpayer dollars. And if you have to have a disciplinary process, that means your employees are abridging the civil and constitutional rights of innocent citizens like me. Shannon Meyer and Andrew Reale, $67,000 a year. Shannon Meyer, $79,000 Andrew Reale should be subject to this disciplinary process. How come? To any process. And I'll talk about their behavior, which I'm going to explain now, which I've explained previously. A multitude of times with these two documents. They are corrupt. Your employee, Shannon Meyer, is corrupt. Your employee, Andrew Reale, is corrupt. And both of them do not know, just like you, Todd, the fascist stooge, what constitutes a criminal act. As I just explained. Send me the disciplinary records and documentation of employees at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Do you understand that? And you're going to refuse. Just like a certain district attorney. Just like a certain party switching district attorney. Freedom of Information Law. The internal disciplinary records and documentation of employees at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office of District Attorney Sandra Doorley. That District Attorney, Sandra Doorley, is disciplined or reprimanded, terminated from employment at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. When was the last time you, Sandra Doorley, terminated the employment of a public employee? Or One of your subordinates, like Perry Duckles did. Perry, do you fire people at the district attorney's office? Some bosses are reluctant to do this. I saw this in Albany and Capitol Hill where I worked, where the boss, for example, Congressman Lawrence Smith, Senator Olympia Snowe, Governor George Pataki, Senator Raparino, they don't do it. But they'll have the chief of staff do it. And I can understand that. I'm not being critical of it. So, how does that happen in the district attorney's office? For example, Sandra, should a prosecutor who doesn't talk in court as an innocent man is delivered to jail be subject to a disciplinary process and face termination of employment? And the answer to that question, Sandra, is yes. But the answer from you, Sandra, is no. How do you discipline your public employees? Have you terminated your public employees at the district attorney's office? And how does it function? Freedom of Information Law. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd K. Baxter. What's not to understand? I have the current payroll, one that Lee LaRoque. Who is Lee LaRoque? I'm going to write 1,000 words, 2,000 words, 3,000 words on her alone and send that to you. Lee LaRoque came here with a search warrant looking for a hammer. Yeah, you heard that right. A hammer. Lee LaRoque, your employee, the special investigator who's not on the payroll I have. The special investigator for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office who used a search warrant approved by this bald-headed wig-wearing Paula Metz from Penfield Town Court came in here, and I have no idea who this woman is. And when I asked the man from Paula Metzler the documentation for how Leah LaRoque gets in here, she's going to refuse. So, the names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd K. Baxter. Are you under the delusion, Todd, the fascist stooge, that monopoly money funds you at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? The District Attorney of Monroe County is under the same delusion that the monopoly money funds her repulsive existence. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Put it in a PDF, click apply, and send it to me. Mail it to my home address. Mail it to my home address, you snakes in suits. The District Attorney's Office, 47 South Fitzhugh in Albany. Perry Duckles. You work a 40-hour week, and that's it? I'm going to guess that you don't. You, Perry, work a 41st hour. Perhaps not every week. But if you do work a 41st hour every single week, then you're working hard. And you're not being paid for those 40 hours the same way when you work that 41st hour, the 50th hour, 60th hour. It's overtime, time and a half. I don't know how you do that. When I was a public employee in Albany, Washington, D.C., there was no overtime, no time and a half, salary was salary. So, Perry, what happens when you work that 41st hour at the district attorney's office? Is your check that you look at the same check? Perry, is your check that you look at the district attorney's office $129,525? Is it still $129,525, Perry Duckles, if you work a 41st hour, or is it higher? Total cost of overtime, time and a half per hour paid beyond a base salary calculated at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. Total cost of overtime, time and a half per hour paid beyond base salary calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, of Sandra Doorley. Perry. Oftentimes in bureaucracy such as yours, the number 2 or 3 or 4 or top staffer understands what is happening in that office as far as the behavior of the employees. And the elected official is totally ignorant. Perry, if you had to define sexual harassment, do you believe that you could provide a concise, succinct definition? It has a concise, succinct definition that's serviceable, but there are any number of ways this dehumanizing act descends on the soul. And you know that fact because you reach this point in your career where you're at the district attorney's office. So, Perry, at the district attorney's office, Sandra Doorley, has anyone come to you, any employee, and said a name, and then said another name, and said he, because it's all likelihood of male, is harassing her? Has that ever happened? Are you aware of any behavior, as you understand it as an attorney, that constitutes sexual harassment at the district attorney's office? And if that has happened, has someone been terminated? Or has your boss, Sandra Doorley, used taxpayer dollars to settle any lawsuits, any litigation? I don't know the answers. I'm demanding you explain it and account for yourself. Has your boss, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, used taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits under Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act? Are you, Perry, aware of any employee sexually harassing another employee at the District Attorney's office? I'll just give you a few definitions of what it is. It's one employee asking another employee out on a date over and over and over, either verbally or on email, and this employee is under siege with no. It's an employee placing hands on someone repeatedly in the office. This person is being touched and doesn't want to be touched. It's vulgar, vile, obscene language being used in the office, and that makes it impossible to do a job and focus and concentrate. Sheriff Todd Baxter, are you familiar with how the Central Intelligence Agency works in Washington, D.C. and Langley, Virginia? Because I've been by that when I worked on Capitol Hill. I spent considerable time in Northern Virginia and in Virginia in general, around that whole area in Washington, D.C. So, Todd, what does a surveillance device do? A surveillance device is an electronic object that captures images of human beings. And I was one of those images. Because you bought a surveillance device and it fixed it to 2025 Penfield Road from me, you bald-headed fucking criminal. And you lied about it repeatedly. You lied about it repeatedly, despite the fact that the original image was on the phone of your employee, and I demanded that 50 plus times. And you refused every single time. You, when I came to your office, your employee knew. Because it's not every day you put in a surveillance device, a camera on a building, to concoct a crime for an innocent citizen walking through a parking lot. And Layla Kumar and Nairaj, again today, just like every day, I'm seeing people walk through this parking lot. You're not running off to the sheriff about anyone in this parking lot. What you have done to me is a sickening, vile, nauseating attack upon my character. And you cannot recognize what you've done to me because you live in 1984. All you are is a cop. Your whole life is being a pathetic cop. Your whole life is a cop. And you have a perversion of how to live your life in the United States of America because your whole life you've been a pathetic cop. How much did that camera cost? You know why you're going to refuse? Even though I've now seen the images because of my public defender, Regina Harper, has sentenced me, you won't even tell me how much you spent for it. I was on this now. Someone you think is me taking a sign off the front lawn of this residence. I was on it. I have the links now. I looked at every one. I'm not committing a crime at any point. And you can see I'm not committing a crime. Attempted assault on my back porch. What's their names? I have to go to the grand jury and they're going to go in there and lie, and I still won't know their names. Up to the point I have to go to the grand jury, you're not going to tell me. You will not tell me the names of these two fellow fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths who concocted attempted assault for me on my back porch. That's it right there. You swim, Sheriff Baxter? Are you a swimmer? Because your employees have experience underwater in a pool. Freedom of Information Law. The cost of taxpayers photography session approved by Monmouth County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter photographed 10 public employees underwater in a pool. Where was this photograph taken? How many times do I have to demand this? Over and over and over. Did you expend taxpayer dollars for this? I'm told it was a training exercise. The training exercise is done on the time the Monroe County Sheriff Office. How much did you pay for it? What do you think Michael Caine, the Democrat Chronicle, is going to think about you spending taxpayer dollars to take a picture of your 10 employees with the American flag in the background? They set this up. They put the equipment down here. Somebody put the flag in the background. They talked about it beforehand. Guess what we're going to do today? Your employees planned this. Look at this photograph, Todd Baxter. Look at it, Corey Brown. Look at this photograph here. This was planned. This is choreographed, and that's the word. To get underwater in a pool with a photographer there, the flag in the background. This is choreographed. How much did you expend to take this? And this is going to, when I contact the controller of New York State to demand that you be audited, this is going to be one of the examples that I use to the control of New York State. When I say to the control of New York State, this is what a pathetic stooge the sheriff of Monroe County is when he's taking pictures of employees. This was on your Facebook page, and I'm demanding that they explain if, in fact, taxpayer dollars were expended. And if you refuse to disclose if taxpayer dollars were in fact expended, then taxpayer dollars were in fact expended. Where's Atlanta, Georgia, Sheriff Todd Baxter? Have you ever been to an Atlanta Braves game or Atlanta Falcons game? What about your employees? Is Atlanta, Georgia in the state of New York, Todd Baxter? I've been all over New York, from Montauk Point on Long Island, where I'm from, up to Buffalo, up to Plattsburgh. I've been in every inch of New York State. Sheriff Todd Baxter, is Atlanta, Georgia in the state of New York? What's the answer to the question? Sheriff Todd Baxter, is Atlanta, Georgia in the state of New York? Does your employee, Ryan Fisher, know Atlanta, Georgia is not in the state of New York? Freedom of Information Law. The cost for a hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff employee Ryan Fisher to attend the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd, 2019 with his canine dog, Lola. This is Ryan Fisher, your employee in Atlanta, Georgia. That's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Here he is in his uniform with his dog, with his German Shepherd. What was he doing there? Was it for a conference, Todd? Because perhaps you're familiar with how cops love to go to conferences and talk about how wonderful it is to be a cop and how difficult the job is. And you don't know the stress and pressure we face. And, we drink too much and we get a divorce. And you just don't know what it's like to be a police officer. You hear that fucking whining that you do as a cop? That's all you are, is a bunch of cops. Did Ryan Fisher go down the air for a conference, Todd the fascist stooge? That's what I want to know. That's what I demand to know. What was Ryan Fisher doing in Atlanta, Georgia? What was Ryan Fisher doing in Atlanta, Georgia, Todd Baxter? And you want people to know about it. Isn't that right, Kathleen Miller, Michael Rather, William Tadeo, Scott Alberti, who wrote this tweet? As we get ready to watch the Super Bowl, we're grateful to the men and women assigned to keep fans and players safe in Atlanta, Georgia, including MCSO's own Deputy Ryan Fisher and Canine Lola. Deputy Fisher sent this photo from Atlanta. Thank you both for your service. What service? Your employee, Ryan Fisher, is walking around Mercedes-Benz Stadium here with his dog, Lola, as a tourist. Tourist Ryan Fisher at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, walking around here with his dog, and then he stops someone, I'll guess, with his camera, and he says, "Take my picture." And then this person takes Ryan Fisher's photograph. And then Ryan Fisher sends this to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and then you put it on Twitter page. There's crime in Monroe County that day. There's cases, investigations that are ongoing. There is police work that has to be done when Ryan Fisher is in Atlanta, Georgia, and your employees are tweeting about him being in Atlanta, Georgia. Social means ever higher. It's on the New York State flag. Are you ever higher at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County District Attorney's Office? Are you ever higher, Sheriff Todd Baxter and District Attorney Sandra Doorley? This is such a beautiful flag in every way. And right here, that's the scales of justice. There's a blindfold over her, holding the scales of justice. Is justice blind, Perry Duckles? Is justice blind for me, Perry Duckles? Beautiful flag of the state of New York. It's the seat in the Capitol. Looks nothing like this flag. This is the current flag of Georgia in 2003. It's only been the flag of Georgia for 17 years. Because it had to be changed. It had to be changed in 2003 by the state legislature and governor. Because this is what it looked like. Here. Right here. This Sickening, nauseating, disgusting, disgraceful stars and bars. The official symbol of being a redneck. What is it Ryan Fisher doing in Atlanta, Georgia with the official symbol of being a redneck? You, Sheriff Todd Baxter, are overweight. The photographs I've seen of you, perhaps you've lost weight. You're overweight, and so are your employees. I'll guess 75% of your employees are overweight because I've seen them over and over and over as an innocent man at your jail here in Penfield, driving around Monroe County. Overweight. And you see them. Have you approached your employees and told them to lose weight or get in shape in any way, to run, to bike, to swim, to go to the gym? Are you familiar with the fact that the criminals like to run away from the cops, Todd? In order for cops to catch the criminals, you have to be in shape. Or if a criminal seeks to overpower a police officer anywhere in the United States of America, that police officer has to be in the required shape in order to respond to that criminal trying to overpower him or her. You have to have necessary physical strength. In the Army, there's the PT test. Push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run. And if you don't complete the PT test, doing the 2-mile run at a certain time, push-ups and sit-ups in a certain number, you're flagged and you can't do anything when you are flagged. Do you flag your employees? Do you use such a bureaucratic mechanism to punish your employees that are not in shape? And the answer is no. Michael Radler on the payroll. Here. You're not a six-figure cop, Michael Radler. You, Michael Radler, not here with the six-figure cops like 104,572 Paul V. Ciminelli. You're not making, Michael Radler, 104,572 like Paul V. Ciminelli. Because you, Michael Radler, making $0. Joke. $0. What do you do for $0? Do you do nothing? Does your salary indicate what you do at your Jonestown? Since you make $0, do you do nothing? Day and year, Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter rehired Michael Radler after his 20-plus year career with Sheriff's Office ended. How long have you been back? Don't refuse to answer, too. Who's at your jail, Todd Baxter? Tell me who's at your jail. This is that thing again. Every single one of these you're going to refuse, and this is going to be one you'll refuse. And this is... If I had to make a list of the top 3 I want the most, this is the one I want among the top 3 I want the most, because I want to call these people about their experience at your jail. Because if I have a name, then I can contact someone. If I don't have a name, I can't contact anyone. It's a public facility. Public facility, your jail. Send me your name and charge. Name and charge of every inmate in Monroe County Jail from January 1, 2018, December 6, 2020. Christopher Chichester, December 6, 2020. Send me your names so I can contact the people at your jail. Because I would like to ask some of these individuals if a prosecutor talks in court. Isn't that right, Sandra Doorley? Does a prosecutor talk in court, Sandra Doorley? Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? What's her name? Total silence as I stood there in one of my 2 appearances. Total silence, nothing from. What's her name? Doesn't matter to you that I have not committed a crime and prosecuted to talk in court. And this one hack, 70-year-old John P. Lomenzo Jr. decides I go to jail without even asking me anything. It's nothing from, there's no dialogue. Why are you in my courtroom? He's just there as a rubber stamp for you, Sandra Doorley and Todd Baxter. Why isn't there a jury in Penfield Town Court either? The jury never sends me anywhere. A jury of 12 deliberates and I go home. There's no doubt about that. Why isn't there a jury in Penfield Town Court, Perry Duckles? Why isn't there a jury in Penfield Town Court, Perry Duckles? Freedom of Information Law. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with Paul Lomenzo in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? He's at his podium. He just walks over to her and hands her a piece of paper, and that delivers me to jail. What's the name of this 5'2" 3-piece suit boy? What's his name? Perry, do you understand everything I just read? Because I'm just on YouTube now. And I'm going to send a transcript of everything I've done, and I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the United States Department of Justice, even though I use your names. So what I just sent to you on December 6th, six-figure Perry Duckles, you received on December 4th. What I just sent to you, you received on December 4th. Do you understand that, Perry? You got it. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on December 2nd. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 30th. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 28th. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 25th. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 23rd. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 21st. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 19th. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 17th. What I just sent to you, I sent to you on November 15th. So, what's not to understand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. 11 times is November 15th. 11 times. So, who's Leila Rope, Todd Baxter? Proof by affidavit gets you in my residence to look for a hammer, and you took my Chromebook out of my house. My residence, pardon me. Proof by affidavit. Where's this affidavit? What do you think about that, Perry Duckles? Proof by affidavit. I came home, she was wearing these blue gloves. These are the blue gloves of Leila Roque, special investigator, who's not on the payroll of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. These are the blue gloves worn by Leila Roque to get in here by proof by affidavit to look for a hammer. Tore the whole place apart. He went through my father's dresser he's had since he was a child in Brooklyn. The bed was on its side. The cabinets were open. All my papers that I have here in this bookcase were thrown on the floor. He went berserk in here. Leila Roque went berserk, went crazy, lost her mind in here looking for a hammer. Because of what I'm doing to you on YouTube. That's why. That's why she's here. Proof by affidavit. Such a joke. Todd, I'm an innocent man. I've never committed a crime. But I do have someone that you're going to think is guilty of a crime. Perhaps you've heard of this guy right here. I mean, Todd, this is a really dangerous character here. He's just as guilty of a felony as I am. So this guy here, Todd, you need to send your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths here to this guy. Because he's obviously guilty of attempted assault on a back porch. So this guy here, Todd, you need to interview him. Take him down to your office there, put him in a chair, big light over his head, and interview him, all right? So, now, Perry, have you heard of the United States Supreme Court decision in 1966 called Miranda versus Arizona? Have you? Does that sound familiar? In the big brain of Perry Duckles and your $129,000 your salary? Miranda versus I've never heard Miranda. I've been delivered to jail twice as this man, never heard Miranda. What do you think about that, Perry? That I've never heard Miranda. And I know what you think about it. You don't care. It doesn't matter. It's totally irrelevant to you at your Jonestown. Your employees, Todd Baxter, followed me down Penfield Road as I went to Canandaigua National Bank. I see him pass me because you're following me. Let me clarify what I mean by your employees are following me, Sheriff Baxter, because I know they're going to have a problem with the language. Your employees are following me. I walk down Sanders Farm Drive to Willow Pond Way to walk in front of Wegmans. Your 5 vehicles converge on me, 11 employees. One of them lowers his shoulders, runs at me, knocks me down, and my head hits the concrete pavement. And I had to go to the hospital and get an MRI. And that's why I had this check, because I had $61.39 in my pocket. I'll never cash this check. What's the name of your employee that committed this crime upon me, Todd Baxter? What's his name? And you have 11 witnesses. This is an assault upon me when my head hit the concrete pavement. What's the name of your employee who attacked and assaulted me outside the pharmacy entrance of Wegmans? What's his name? And the blue wall of Todd Baxter is going to prevent you from disclosing his name. Because the blue wall of Todd Baxter knows now, because I've told you repeatedly, that 11 of your employees watched this attack and assault happen upon me. And the blue wall of Todd Baxter is going to prevent any single one of these 10 witnesses to it from identifying the 11th to attack me. And the blue wall of Todd Baxter is total silence as an innocent American is attacked and assaulted outside a supermarket. So, Todd, I have your official portrait here, and I must say, Todd, that you got a forehead like a drive-in movie theater here. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, you're gonna have the Rocky Horror Picture Show up here on top of your head, and what does Mrs. Fascist Stooge think about your bald head here, Todd? When did you start losing your hair? Is what I'd like to know. I mean, was it 18 years old and you went to the mirror the first time and you realized something's going on here? Because I'm going to have a forehead like a drive-in movie theater. And to Todd, you need to stay away from every gasoline station on Penfield Road, okay? You heard that from me, Chris Chichester, 26 Sanders Farm Drive. So, Todd, on your six-figure salaries here, you have here you are $132,599. That's you right there. And then you have Corey K. Brown at $131,485. So Corey K. Brown makes $1,100 less than you. Your salary is set in statute. You have no control over that. You decided to pay Corey Brown $131,485. Why? What does Corey Brown do at the Monroe County Sheriff Office for that salary? Tell me. On this one page, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 employees that make $100,000. Your $100,000 cops. Andrew G. Jeliza, $108,824. Kevin L. Shuffle, $106,130. Jeffrey S. Del Guicho, $108,824. William T. Tadeo, $101,843. Lucio Tomasetti, $160,598. Deanie Tuttle, $101,843. Michael T. Fowler, $128,029. Paul J. Jalella, $110,868. Jeffrey C. Wagner, $108,824. Paul G. Vadas, $101,843. How do you defend and explain this when you're on for re-election? How do you defend and explain this when I contact the New York State Controller? How? $100,000 cops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 on this one page. That's $1 million. $1 million for 10 employees at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office in salary. How do you possibly explain that to the people of Monroe County when you run for re-election? Just like a certain district attorney. Third name on the list of salaries is Amanda Bowling, $108,338. Was she the prosecutor who stood in Penfield Town Court and didn't talk? I don't know. As far as how you discipline your public employees, Todd Baxter, this is Aaliyah Burden. How did Aaliyah Burden escape? How did she escape? Do you know how Aaliyah Burden escaped? Sheriff Jail Superintendent disciplined after strong hospital inmate escape. Monroe County Sheriff and Jail Superintendent being disciplined after an internal investigation regarding an inmate escaping custody back in April. Internal investigation, is that right? How did that internal investigation go? Detailed questions about that internal investigation and the Freedom of Information Law for how you conducted such an internal investigation. Did it happen? Huh? When I was demanding a list of salaries from you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, you were refusing. Sheriff of Monroe County is afraid to open his mail. Return to sender. This is about the 10th time I think I sent it. And I was just mailing it. And then I put it in the mail, certified mail, when you have to sign for it, you refuse to sign for it. Just like Steve Desmond, he refused to sign. Why do you think this guy's Steve Desmond? This is a civilian. You used a civilian to get to my residence. Certified mail, Steve Desmond. You used a civilian because your employees met with the civilian and you're concocting criminal contempt for me. He doesn't want to open his mail because he knows I want to know. I'm demanding to know who he called at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Was it that sergeant in Panorama Trail? Either I'm not remembering his name correctly, which can happen, or he no longer is employed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Who did Steve Desmond call? Shannon Meyer knows because she fell down on my backyard dirt. Are you falling down on the job too, Todd, the fascist students? Do you fall down in your office? Such a joke. John P. Lomenzo Jr., this guy, sent it to his home address, 4 Forest Grove Court, just to let him know what I'm saying about him. This guy, I'm in his court, now one word from him. Why are you in my courtroom? Why are you here? Tell me why you're here. He doesn't want to open his mouth. How is it that this one guy delivers me to jail without even asking me why I'm here? Because he's in a police employed by you. He's on Penfield Town Court. That's irrelevant. He's your employee. He works for the district attorney's office. This guy's nothing but a revolting rubber stamp for revolting Todd Baxter. Neeraj Shah, going to the Monroe County Sheriff. Prove you own that land. You know why this guy doesn't want to open his mouth? Because he doesn't own anything. Isn't that right, Neeraj? How do you own that land, Neeraj? How does anybody own that land? You see the new way that people cut grass? They heard at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Why would you think you're just sleeping with Mrs. Fascist Dudes in here at 7 o'clock in the morning? The accusatory instrument is being walked through a parking lot. Is that right? Neeraj, you go running off. There you are living with your mommy. 50-plus-year-old Neeraj living with his mommy. You go running off to the shop about me walking through the parking lot, right? I'm walking through the parking lot. This war crime, Neeraj. Do I have that right? It's my neighbors. Neeraj. Did you go to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office about my neighbors walking through the parking lot right here? Why not? Todd Baxter, did you arrest my neighbors for walking through the parking lot? Why not? I'll be arrested if I walk through that parking lot. You're my neighbors right here. After the fireworks at House Round Park on June 30th, 2019 and 2018, I came back from the event. Before the event, Penfield High School students walked through the parking lot. Did you arrest a Penfield High School student? I sat right here. 200 people I saw walk through that parking lot and spent 15 minutes. How many of those people were arrested? Todd, I'm really concerned about this employee here that works for you. This is Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I've shown his name before, but I just want to emphasize again about your employees because this one, he needs a special emphasis because I am extremely concerned about him and about his behavior at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. You need this employee, when I tell you his name, show you his photo, you need to call him into your office at 130 South Plymouth Avenue. You need to counsel him immediately. This is a priority for you. When I show you this employee's name, Sheriff Todd Baxter. This is Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee, Tom Iceman Kazansky. And you can see, Todd, look at that glorious hair that he's got on his head. I mean, can you believe that glorious hair on Tom Iceman Kazansky? Because he doesn't, have hair like you, Todd, because you got no hair. So, I mean, what's going on there? With your employee, Tom Iceman Kazansky, and look at the look on his face, that smug, arrogant look with these aviator shades. You wearing these aviator shades at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd, the fascist dudes? That's what I want to know. So the employees knocked me down from Wegmans, attacked and assaulted me, and I'm being billed. I'm being billed from this attack upon me. Professional Ambulance Billing LLC. What's the name of your employee, Sheriff Todd Baxter? His YouTube is now at 49 minutes, who attacked and assaulted me. Tell me his name. I'm getting these cards in the mail from your feckless, pathetic joke of an operation, Freedom of Information Law. I'm getting these cards. I say in Freedom of Information Law, you don't comply, and then I get these cards in the mail. And what I'm demanding to know, this is when I first saw the video image of me on the wait for it surveillance device that you bought. And I was just getting this email 50 times. Send me that email. Send me that video, pardon me. And you refused every time. The reason why. I'm not committing a crime. So, the video is on the phone and has an assigned number. Either you're withholding it from me or you destroyed it. Those are the two facts regarding that video that was on the phone. either withholding it from me or you destroyed it. Which one is it, Sheriff Todd Baxter? True greatness comes not when things go always good for you, but true greatness comes when you're really tested, when you have taken some knocks, faced some disappointments, when sadness comes. Because only if you have been in the deepest valley can you ever know how magnificent it is to be atop the highest mountain. President Richard Nixon. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive, Penfield, and I have never committed a crime.